Welcome back, everyone. It gives me unbelievable pleasure to be able to say we are here with episode 50 of Savannah by Night here on the Midnight Dispatch, our pokey little chunk of the internet where we'll be doing Vampire the Masquerade and soon some other things on the horizon that we'll get to when we're good and bloody ready. Now, small sad announcement before we get into the rest of things this evening. We are down a couple of players due to varying situations in the world. People have to be where they're most needed and where their energy is most appropriate, and we wish them well. And if things transpire that it's workable for them to come back, we'll save a seat for them. In the meantime, Sam, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I would like to add that every episode before this 50th one is available on our YouTube page. And I will be adding the Smoggle Screams streams that have been happening. I have made it part of the way through Resident Evil 9 without fainting. So we're in making good progress there. The next Mogul's Scream won't be for a little bit. It'll be right after Easter. But that is something I wanted to mention, as we have mentioned of me slicing my way through scary games, more screaming my way, but I appreciate the
As they slice their way
confidence
through you.
boost. Hey, I've been doing some slicing.
There was a lack of confidence in that statement. Could you try saying it this time, but with your chest?
I'm just saying I actually play better as Grace, because Grace is about running away from everyone, and every time I fight as Leon, I try to run away and they go, "No, you're supposed to be badass Leon. The door is locked, fight the enemy." And I'm like, "No, that's not okay."
Fair enough. Martel, where are you this Friday?
This Friday, I'm over at Knights of Silvermoon. We are playing some more Star Wars.
And what's been going on in Tales of the Hidden Path?
We're doing some impromptu psychotherapy to a someone who may or may not be a clone. Spoiler alert, she probably isn't. And we're trying to get rid of the indoctrination and the code words that have been implanted in that person's head.
That's what you want. Winter Soldier in space.
We don't want that.
I do, because it will have lightsabers and pew-pew. Any other announcements we should get to? Well then. Without any further ado, let's tell a fucking vampire story. Last time on Savannah by Night, Artem and Kate finally met up to share their different yet overlapping experiences in regards to the visceral Sabbat presence in Savannah. Both the Gangrel and the Ventrue more pointedly discussed their concerns about the rest of the New Bloods, perhaps not fully being aware or appreciating the reality of the situation, that they needed a cold splash of water. The resultant debate with the group prompted a hard look at the facts and the risks posed by both the Sabbat and the Mudmen that they would be potentially running into out in the wild. That each and every one of them needed to be more physically and emotionally prepared to kill. Something that, aside from Artem, none of them had any true experience with. To which he went into vivid detail of the carnage he not only witnessed, but also inflicted on other vampires, all in the hopes of sobering attitudes. While the nascent coterie at least nominally agreed to be focusing on the Mudmen and running away from any and all sign of the Sabbat, one or two had a more ambitious mindset. Having been informed by Kate of a potential connection to Alden's past, Artem approached fellow Gangrel Teague about the Daughters of Cacophany, a trio of women that, as it turned out, were the progeny of Alden's lost and presumed dead paramour, the former owner of the very car Artem now drives. At the younger man's request, Teague would endeavor to set up a meeting with the daughters. Cora and Poppy met with Olivia, the Tremere that had been approached about providing some form of substance to subdue or at least stymie a Mudman. A caveat, however, was that she required the names of who was involved in this venture, as creating such a thing could and would be perceived as a weapon. Knowing who she was giving it to would be paramount to her own safety. The coterie had agreed to split focus and reveal some more obvious names, but conveniently leave out a couple of names that had plausible deniability, thereby ensuring unnamed backup in the event of things going wrong. Amidst all of this, Poppy was struggling with the notion of her own impending birthday, the strange existential questions like what it means to get older when one doesn't age. But more importantly, where does a girl hold a bash when the city is on high alert? Such questions and more were posed to her clanmate Harlan, and, oddly enough, an artful dodger of a Nosferatu named Fitz, the latter of which was far too happy to facilitate or enable such frivolities. But it was when she got home and mentioned her aspiration to Clarice, the elder Rose informed the younger Toreador that such soirees were once common in that house. More importantly, that these should be again. Kate's night was on track to end the same way it had begun, by personally checking out disturbances at one of the many properties owned or controlled by Redgrave. The first had been a mere awkward revelation of a raunchy elderly couple simply causing a noise disturbance. The second spot of bother, caught on security camera, appeared to be just as mundane. A simple, drunken scuffle on River Street, and nothing more. Satisfied that it was a false alarm, Kate made her way back to her car, though with some imperceptible infrasound scratching at her mind with every step. Two figures approached, one proudly displaying his demonstrably inhuman features of pale, almost blue skin, red glowing eyes, and telltale fangs. The other, a twitchy woman that appeared as though she was looking for her next fix, who then swiftly produced claws in the same manner as Artem and Chris, and took a wild swipe at the Ventrue. As serrated hands cleaved into Kate, three things happened in rapid succession. First, the lineage of her clan that gave her on life reflexively repelled the worst of the damage, as suddenly she was made of sterner, more steely stuff. Second, a distortional force crashed into the knife-handed assailant, sending her careening off the edge of the parking lot and into the Savannah River, with a chair leg seemingly jutting out from her chest. Third, that sound scratching at Kate's mind suddenly coalesced into a familiar yet uncanny valley disembodied voice telling her to run towards it. Even as she willed her legs to move, the direction made no sense, and just as she was about to crash into a blank wall, everything went black. Now, we start a new night. And with that comes a bit of bookkeeping. Let's start with your nightly blood expenditure. Every time you wake up, you spend a point of blood.
Weird question.
Yes.
Before Poppy does this, she's been thinking about like how she's gonna get out of a birthday celebration with her hookup.
We'll come to that in just a moment.
Well, can she take a selfie of herself before she makes the effort to make herself look good so that she has a backup picture for if she needs to look really sick?
I see. So you're talking about the blood in order to make yourself look human.
Yeah.
Okay. So first we'll mark down the blood just for waking up because that's the requirement.
Correct.
If you want to appear human after you send a photo, that's one thing you can do. You're high enough humanity that you're not going to look inhuman. It's more about more of a blush to the cheeks and a warmth to the skin, the feeling of a weak but still present pulse. All the small autonomic nervous system things like blinking naturally, your breathing. So a photo before or after that is not so necessary, especially with today's modern Insta filters that you would be having on your phone.
Okay.
And I feel like as a self-respecting Toreador, you have some such things.
Oui.
Okay. Blood handled for everyone? Okay. Next is willpower. Everyone regains 1 automatically. However, if you're in deficit of your total and you need to recoup that, now would be a time to present an argument. Sam?
I only had 1 and it has been recouped. How dare you?
It passes prologue. Anyone else? Right, because Poppy only spent 1 and she so rarely ever.
Yeah, that was my first time.
Experience points. Every completed night, you get 2. I think we should be at 34 or 36?
34.
34. Now, we can get into the minutia of text and meetings in a moment. Elli. Given the conversation last night before everyone left Elysium and your own stated goals, even if you were trying to placate a little bit vis-a-vis your opinions on the Sabbat and whether or not you should be pursuing them, you wake up to a new night. What is your first ambition?
First ambition is to settle my growling stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And that will involve an athlete in a professional sports team
Mm-hmm.
who has not yet been found out that they are taking performance-enhancing drugs.
So, given what your meeting is tonight with Havel, your intent is to gorge yourself on someone to goose your own abilities tonight. Is that where this is going? Or is that just a happy coincidence?
You make it sound like a bad idea when you say it. When
Hmm.
I suggest it, it sounds pretty cool. And yes, I was thinking one of the Savannah bananas, which would be pretty funny. One of them was taking performance.
In the most unserious sports team of all time.
The one who takes it most seriously.
Oh man.
I like the idea that
Here
there's
at Midnight Dispatch, we
one-
make no claims about this is all in parody. Any association, intentional or otherwise, is purely fictional.
any relation to Joe and Banana is entirely coincidental.
You know how steroids work?
What?
Do you know how steroids work?
I mean, as someone who doesn't really take them myself, not really.
This may not go the way you're thinking it will.
There are other things. Coke Rage, for example, gives its own strength.
Wait, so this is actually a thing I'm thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there one of the scandals someone who would have, it wasn't necessarily drugs, but it was that they would have like their previously overoxidized blood
doping.
Mhm.
blood doping, yeah.
Very common in
maybe
the cycling
someone
world.
yeah, maybe
What?
someone who
It's
basically
crazy.
yeah, it's basically you take blood after you've done like a heavy cycling or something that requires a lot of energy, and you store that blood, and then they inject themselves with that blood so they have a boost right at the start of a race because their blood is already
It's
has those
it's both a power
enzymes or
and
something.
endurance thing.
VO2 max.
Hmm.
yeah.
Whew.
So there's also the fact that whatever's in the blood, the vampiric body will just do things with. So I mean, we don't have to process the auto magic quality here too far.
Yeah.
Okay. Before you leave the Warrens, is there anything you want to do there before we get to this delightful little interlude? Sam?
Yeah, no. Smuggles
okay.
is panicking. It's fine.
Okay.
Questioning life decisions overall. It's fine. I will send I think I already told Chris that I will be going to.
You may want to send another
Hours.
text just to follow, like, it's going to be at this time.
Yeah. I'll send a text just about what the time is that I will
Okay.
be there, whether or not she goes.
Hmm. We'll come back to that, but let's get to your menu. How exactly would you like to corral this particular meal?
There's got to be a race coming up, and it's got to be it's got to be something to
I
the
would want the
effect of.
Savannah Bananas be involved in a race. Never mind. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was thinking of transferring over to someone who was blood doping,
Okay.
if that works.
Yeah, that works.
I was thinking there has to be a race coming out or like happening
Or just
soon.
someone in training.
Or someone. Well, the reason why I'm thinking a race coming up is because it's someone is training for it, and then also, but also it's like I'm ready to tell my friend in the press about this, and it's like one of those things where it's you either pay now, or there's
Yeah, like
no
they're a
like
few days away
figuring
from their
out.
flight to like Tour de
Yeah,
France or something.
there's not a way where you can be like, if I push this a little bit, I can get around it. It's like they they know that I have the power of timing on my
Mm,
hands.
okay. So, but where would you want to set this up? Where in the city are you funneling your fat, juicy meal towards?
Probably probably someplace like just off their normal bike route.
Mm,
So they have the excuse of, oh, I'm going on my normal thing, and then they take a little detour into an alley somewhere, and
hmm
that's where I'll be waiting.
I'd say their path would follow a rather wide loop from the northern side of Talmadge Bridge as it's coming in
Mm-hmm.
from the Carolinas, passing over what you know to be rather staunchly Ventrue territory of Hutchinson Island. So, not a good place to hit them there. Getting down into uh, where it meets around SCAD, the main campus, River Street, and then it would sort of venture over towards the uh, loop-de-loop highway that eventually leads itself all the way down to Wormslow itself. Your best bet would probably be near, as they're sort of meandering through the center of the old city. All the various old buildings that have been rebuilt since one fire or another. The gridlock of all the various square parks that dot the map as demanded by Oglethorpe in the original drawings,
Mm-hmm.
which creates all these delightful little pockets of where you know to be some official surveillance is lacking, as you've rather done some due diligence on this not too long ago, that the official security network of traffic cams and such are, well, subject to future review with the city, which will never happen. So you know some
Well,
blind
I mean,
spots. You know where
once
to,
I'm in charge.
but if they're going off their path, how are you creating this diversion? You're not just doing a Wile E. Coyote thing where you're just walking out and putting detour,
Oh
birdseed.
no, I mean, this is one of those things where it's like they have um this is one of those things where I'm like sending
Oh,
I know
take a
their
small
bike
detour from your path, meet me
yeah.
here, and
No,
then get back on
this
your
is
path.
a yeah, this is some extortion happening.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a thing where it's like I know the timing of their path, so
Hmm.
we know generally when it needs to
I
be.
have to imagine that there is one of your many trackers that you have made, cobbled together, repurposed, has been stuck to their gear somewhere, which is a good trick.
Allegedly.
Which is a good trick considering they probably rip the thing apart rather often for maintenance. But I have to imagine in your off hours, when you do get one, it's tip, 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 put in a new one, and just get on with the rest of your night.
Mm-hmm.
You get these in a six pack. So when this person gets there, is this a sneak up on them, or leave them standing around and they don't see you and then just numb? Or is there a conversation? What is the intended thing that they are bringing you? Is it?
Yeah, this is there we go.
Whoop.
Sorry, I lost you for a second. Did I it's a matter of sneaking up, or is it
Is there a
what was the other?
conversation? Some sort of intended handoff moment, like leave your backpack over here and we never have to see each other's face, or
Yeah,
just sneak, sneak,
I
chomp.
think it will be there's a drop off point, and so as they're dropping off the backpack, that's when I sneak up behind, take some blood, and then exit. So it's like as they're in the middle of doing the drop off.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess the question is, how many points of blood do you want to go for?
Oh man.
So just because they're doping doesn't mean I'm going to give you additional blood per point.
You're not gonna give me 6 blood for it?
How far down your max are you?
I don't
Are
think
you?
that's the important question.
Mhm.
I'm 6 down.
You're 6 down. Okay. Well, here's where we
I'm
can
like
get the
Smoggles
doping.
in real life. Sometimes you just like are in the middle of something and forget to eat.
Because he is blood doping, his blood is thicker. What I'll do, instead of making him more woozy when you take 3, 3 leaves him a little more level. But what I'm going to have you do is have you roll self-control.
Oh no.
Because you are quite hungry. Yeah, I'm going to have you roll self-control.
And?
Would there be an and?
Oh, cool.
I'll have you add conscience and self-control. And we'll just say it's a difficulty of 6.
Six successes.
What I'll do with that amount of successes, just seems so appropriate, is I will allow you to get 4 without leaving him woozy. However, there is a moment that, due to your hunger, because it's a longer draw, a deeper drink than you normally do, there's a moment of hesitation where you almost don't pull back. And you get dangerously close to wanting to wring dry that particular Capri Sun. But your higher faculties kick in. And you push him back. And while he's still facing the other direction and in the initial thrall of the vampiric kiss, he's in a doe-eyed haze, a convenient fugue state for you to slip away. My only question, actually 2 questions for you, is do you have enough wherewithal to lick the wounds closed? And do you take the backpack, or was it merely an excuse?
I think I brought my own bag, and I take the cash from the backpack.
I see.
And I do lick the wound clean.
Okay.
Closed.
And you skedaddle. Maybe a little faster than you're used to walking. But let's see if you can continue to ride that high. As you still know that you have a training session to go to. And the session itself isn't the thing that might be bothering you, but who is going to be present alongside you? At least in theory. It's okay if we pan the camera away from there for now. All good? Okay. Artem.
Hello.
You had a rather sobering conversation with your Ventru companion last night. And you awake to the soft but vaguely impatient chirps of your sequestered housemate of a bird that you have found.
What's his deal?
You tell me.
Well, I'm going to guess that he's hungry, but
Mhm.
let's make sure. Do a little bit of, I guess I don't actually have to roll for this, do I? Because I'm not going to give him a command. I'm just going to catch his eyes and try to understand with animalism what he is communicating.
You get a repetitious mixture of 70% food, 30% out, 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 out. The typical higher priority in most creatures' brains is food, survival. Freedom is a deep tertiary to that.
Sure. Okay. Well, I think it's fair to say I've probably gotten some bird seed at this point. So I'm going to
Either birdseed or there are things that you know to forage for.
yeah.
Things that you also could have looked up, like you probably looked up what the bird it even is, what it does and doesn't eat. Things that you could have found nearby if you wanted to, so to sort of supplement that.
Yeah.
So I guess what we'll do is, because this is still about getting the bird less to obey you and more trust. So let's go with animal ken and I guess manipulation.
Animal ken and manipulation. Hey, guess who doesn't have one manipulation anymore, guys? I've been leveling up.
So
I don't
we're
know
gonna do
why
this.
my first thought was it went down.
Me too. I was like, what happened to it? Oh my gosh.
We'll put that out of 5.
Oh, excellent.
Actually, no. This would be a 4 because this is not a high functioning creature. And you've been working on establishing some trust in the first place. You're trying to meet its needs. This is not, high debate.
That's great because this is a terrible roll.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 3 successes, all 5s and 4s.
Fair.
So, I think what he'll do is he'll say, food is coming. He'll take some stuff. He'll put it in his hand, just kind of leaving it out.
So you're intending
over here
to
open cage.
But the intent is you are trying to train the bird into remembering where food comes from.
Yeah.
So that it literally eats out of your hand.
Right.
Okay. So there is that hesitation, the tentative nature as you go to open the cage of it kind of bounces around. Somewhat out of fear, somewhat out of just not knowing what to expect. But then you step away and you hold out the hand with the chosen food in the palm. And this is a bird. Well, let's say Artem's a big man, so let's say Poppy, the size of Poppy's hand or her palm.
Yeah.
And it, after a few moments, does flit out. It bounces around the room just a little bit, that stretching its wings before succumbing to the natural requirements of still gotta eat.
Yeah.
And at first, it clings onto the finger, very Disney princess. And it's that slow shuffle across the finger towards the palm. And it does start to peck. My question is, do you just let it do so unimpeded, or do you try to pet the bird?
Let's try petting the bird.
Okay. I'd say with 3 successes, you can accomplish that.
Excellent.
There's a moment where the creature stops and does that, for a human would be that breakneck prairie dog head turn
Mm-hmm.
before turning away and going back to eating.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming you let it have its fill.
Yep.
What do you do after that?
I'm probably going to. I'm gonna put him back in the cage. Not close it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get it some water. I've probably got like a water bottle. Put it in a little dish.
Mm-hmm.
Put the dish in the cage. And then I'll just kind of give him free rein for the room. And Artem will probably step out at that point.
Okay. I am going to warn you about something.
He's going to poop everywhere.
Exactly.
Yes. That is something that Artem, if he didn't know before, he certainly knows it now. He has got the appropriate cleaning supplies. He probably would put something over the bed so that that's not a.
So he's going into this with the full knowledge that this is the outcome, this certain outcome.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. And you're going to head out of your small guest house.
Oh,
Mhm.
You know what? I stayed in the house last night with Chris.
You did. Okay.
Yes. We'll say this happened, but after after the wake up.
Okay, so we'll wibbly wobbly this a little bit. As you are, I would say, woken up by the door slamming shut as someone is walking into the house. And I'm assuming you're not sleeping upstairs. You're probably on the couch in the living room.
If
or something like
that
that.
is safe from the sun, then yeah, probably.
If you've been working on the house a bit, it probably is.
Okay, cool.
House of that nature probably didn't have windows right there. And it was more about just filling in holes, which weren't many, but it was more the interior finishing was lacking. And so that's one of the things you have been finishing, as the main floor had a fair amount of early attention from you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it by any means finished? No. But better than it was. Do you get up, or do you just try to pretend that wasn't your problem?
He probably will try to get up because it is probably Alden, but it doesn't have to be.
And when you do you get up and go to inspect, or do you just wait for this to come to you?
He'll probably wait for it to come to him, especially because Artem's not great as he's waking up. So the more time he has to prepare for situations, the better.
Mm. There is a moment when you can hear those footfalls going up those stairs that you have worked on refinishing. But in a familiar footfall, you know when a stranger is in your space, especially on stairs. There's something very intrinsic about how people walk on them that you can tell who they are. You know it's Alden.
Okay. In that case, he'll probably just say, "Hey, boss," and then kind of like sink back into the couch.
Trying to do the 5 more minutes Haas kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even as you try to sink back down into that slumber, you do hear as he's getting to the top of the stairs, up.
Yeah. And he gets up. Probably goes up the stairs as well.
Mm. As you follow him up there, you see that he's wearing what would be for him business casual.
Mm-hmm.
You see him normally wearing the 3-piece, not necessarily a Savile Row special, but usually something that is nice. It doesn't always seem like he's spending thousands of dollars, but it's something good.
Mm-hmm. This is, I assume, the same thing as last night.
What he was wearing before was basically like an old work shirt and
Okay.
like braces, like brace style suspenders as he was going out a hunting.
Okay, so he's changed. All right.
He's changed. This is him wearing just a 2-piece, sort of business casual, where it's still nice. He's not wearing a tie. And he sharply raps on Chris's door. Out. I have news. And he says as he's looking to you now. She steps out, not looking as groggy as you, but dressed more like she hadn't gotten out of bed yet.
Mm-hmm.
Just the oversized t-shirt of actually the band that Poppy got you tickets for. One that has seen better days, so it's well loved, or at least well used. Oh, what? You're friends with that new Ventru, yes? She was attacked last night.
Is she still alive?
Technically. However, having sustained grievous wounds at her age, she has slipped into torpor. There's never any telling when someone will wake up from that, or if they ever do. It's akin to a coma. She is to be shipped back to DC.
Artem will he's not gonna do the like Kyle punches the wall thing, but he will like kind of put his hand on it, like shake his head, say, I told her last night they might try to use our procedures against us.
While there is still a very stern air about him, there is a solemnity. As he turns away from you and he's looking at Chris, who is sort of covering her mouth with one hand. There's a slight pinkish glassiness to the eyes. That sort of burgeoning tears that is more easily betrayed because most of your bodily fluids is replaced by blood.
Who found her?
One of the Tremere.
It wasn't Max Keller.
Perceptive. But yes.
He'd been talking to her. I figured he was trying to make inroads with her sire. There isn't any reason to believe that he may have just done this, is there?
Suspicion is smart. It would make sense for him to build inroads just in general. Offing or attempting to yields little results. But due diligence has been taken to look over the available security footage. His word wouldn't be taken as gospel.
Okay.
It's when Chris sort of awkwardly holds up her phone. I guess now's not a great time to mention that Elli wants to meet me at Havel's for a bit of training. There are a few places in the city safer. Havel's one of the few people you truly do not fuck around with. So you learning something from her would only be to your benefit. Artem, whatever errands you have to run, whatever conversations you have to get done, you get them done tonight. The prince will be requisitioning you for a few additional hunts.
Understood.
He looks to Chris. It's a good place to be. However, you will be having Elli drop you off at Wormslow. I will be there, holding court, because the prince will be out conducting hunts personally. He looks at the two of you. Am I clear?
Yeah.
She nods. Orion will be staying here. Fulfilling his appropriate duties as guard dog. Get to it. And he starts to walk down. Not before reaching out and putting a very hesitant hand on Crusher's shoulder and giving a squeeze. Giving her roll me empathy and perception.
Suit doesn't have 0 empathy anymore.
It's nice not to have a sociopath in the house.
Functioning sociopath. What are we rolling for?
We'll go with a 5.
Okay. 3.
3 successes.
Yep.
There's something obviously of concern and an undertone of something pleading. She gives him that wordless, sort of repetitive nod. And then that's when he walks away. You hear the door slam. And eventually, you would hear the boat start up as he heads off.
Artem will look at Chris. Does she look like she needs a hug?
I'm not going to have you roll again, but I'd say with the intent behind you trying to read people and seeing the look in her eyes earlier, there is a sort of detached despondency where maybe she's not 100% grounded in the room. So I would say if you wanted to go and hug her, that might help.
Yeah, he'll do that.
At first, she's a bit unresponsive. And not in a, ooh, ick, how dare you kind of way, but in a, she's not quite in her own body for a moment. And then eventually, weakly, there is reciprocation. And with you being very tall, you don't see or hear some muffled crying. But you do know you're going to have to change your shirt before you go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. He'll just kind of let the moment, hold on as long as it seems appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind
It's
of
definitely a case of you let her be the one that pulls away.
Yeah. Kind of like give her the double shoulder tap.
Mm-hmm.
He'll say, I'm gonna go play with my bird. I'll get you to the gym soon.
And there's a moment where finally she kind of just looks at you like, what the fuck? And she just gives you this confused, almost jaw-dropped expression as she walks back into the bedroom and closes the door. And I feel like that's a good moment to transition out from that. Shall we?
I'm so glad we went in reverse order with that, because I forgot that after.
Okay. Poppy.
Graham.
You would wake to the fresh notion that you have solved the biggest problem in your current unlife, where you're going to host your party.
So true.
How do you feel?
Slightly relieved, and she kind of like wakes up, has a moment, just like laying in bed, being like, okay, new experiences, new friends, all my buds are gonna be there. This is gonna be great. And then she has a moment of panic where she goes, Fitz. And so she quickly like grabs her phone off the charger and sends a text towards Fitz, being like, hey, Clarice wants to throw me my birthday party. I would love to collaborate on an event with you in the future. I'm a big event planner, as it were. But this one I think is being taken care of. Thank you so much for it's like, thank you so much for like talking to me, man. Thank you so much in advance for future event planning help. Smiley face. But not the serial killer one, the one that's like that has its eyes like slightly closed.
I feel like if you have to ask which one is which, you might be a serial killer.
Well, close.
Mm-hmm. So, eventually, you do get back a picture of a sad raccoon.
Oh no. Oh. Poppy says, oh my heart. I will reach out though. Thanks so much.
And you get a picture of a happy raccoon.
Great. I can't
Like,
let...
it just looked like it had eaten all the hot dogs.
Incredible. Incredible. Poppy will then text Heidi
Mm-hmm.
to see if she would be willing to go out for a drink later in the evening. At like a nicer place, not like a Chuck's.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up it's like a speakeasy style place called like Alley Cat Bar or something. It's a little more upscale, like cuter cocktails, historic building, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So she'll send that text. And then get up and out of bed and get ready for the day, the night.
I would say she'll resend a picture that she had sent you before that's just like her collection of clothes on the bed. Pick, I don't know.
Poppy will look over the outfits.
Oh, wait. She'll send a follow-up picture that's just a very close-up, like, cut off of, like, the top half of her face, and the eyes are just, like, panicked. Makeup
Poppy...
on point, though.
Great. That's awesome. Good for her. Poppy will send, Well, first she'll send a gif from Clueless, because Cher has that crazy like closet that I don't know if you've seen Clueless. It's older, but has that
I'm
awesome
older
like
than all of you.
That's true. That's true. But that computer that has like the categorized closet in it, and you can like put together an outfit. So she'll send that and say just call me Cher, and then she'll pick like a nicer pair of jeans and like a I don't know, like a tank top looking blouse that has some eyelet lace on the bottom. It's a little dated, but like the early 2000s are back in, so it's okay.
I mean, she goes to an art school. Like, what is old is considered fashionable that week, or at least thrifty.
Yeah, true.
And yeah, that'll work. Now, here's the question, order of operation style. Because you want to give her a dress. Is that something you want to do at the bar, or do you want to wait to give her that later?
I want to give that to her later.
Okay. Okay, so you've set that up. What's your next port of call here?
Getting dressed. She puts on kind of like a a black and gray bodycon dress. Nothing crazy, pretty simple. And some sneakers. But like nice sneakers, going out sneakers. And she'll eventually head downstairs and see if Clarice is about.
Okay. As you are heading towards the stairs, or one of many flights of stairs in this sort of winged house, you do know where Nico's room is.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that there were additional cars in the garage last night.
Yes.
And you hear some sort of feminine melodic giggling through his door.
She'll like through the door go, "It's not that funny, girls. It's not that funny." And then like hee and run down
Before
the
you get
hall.
away, you hear, Poppy, I'm in the middle of someone right now.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
So you make your way downstairs. Strange that, given your first several times meeting Clarice, she's been this detached, despondent, almost ethereal in her lack of interaction with the real world.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a few times very, very recently where that has dramatically not been true anymore. In fact, when you last saw her last night, she had drawn over the wall that she had punched into an almost explosive spider crack, coming up with the designs of a rather sharp, angular, imposing dress. Still a gown. What looks like something that, well, a Sith would wear out to the club.
Yes.
But in its place, the wall has almost been repainted. And in the cracks, when you find her, Clarice is engaging in kintsugi, the process of repairing something broken or shattered by filling the cracks or reaffixing with gold. The formerly spider crack impact of when she punched the wall is presently being filled in speck by speck with gold flakes with the same meticulous intent of a vertical mandala.
A little kintsugi?
I thought it was appropriate.
It looks cool.
And she steps back for a moment regarding it. I think it honors the moment, repairs the damage, without erasing why it exists in the first place.
Way better than painting it over or spackling it in.
What can I help you with, dearie?
I just wanted to touch base with you, check in. What needs to be done for party planning endeavors? Is there what do I need to do to help?
She's going to put the sort of bowl of gold flakes down on a sort of easel tray that's been folded appropriately near where she's working. I suppose it would be to determine the amount of guests and who they are. First order of business then is it's going to be kindred, yes?
Yes, yes.
The next thing to consider is how they're getting here.
Mm-hmm.
And hors d'oeuvres. Are you providing any, or expecting them to satiate before arrival?
I do like the idea of feeding people just as like a hosting thing, but I'm not, I've never hosted a party for people like us, so I'm would need a little assistance in knowing where to go to get those snacks.
I would say, first, how many people are you inviting? That determines the logic.
You had mentioned that you often would have parties here back a while ago. Would you have an opinion on how many people are here? Are there people you'd like to invite to just kind of like have over?
Maybe one or two, but this is your party.
I can make a list.
That will help determine where we go with our next steps. But it's not enough to just have people or snacks. What are the activities?
Well, if I can, I would love to get DJ Rally to do a little music for us. I got to see her at the racetrack a while back, and she was incredible. So if there is room to have like a little dance floor, DJ setup, would be very cool. I like the idea also, and this might be a little like too like 90s mom. But what if we had like a paint balloon station somewhere outside probably, and we had everybody gets to throw one balloon, because let's not get crazy, but they throw a balloon at the canvas and then they sign the canvas. Like, I don't know, it could be cool. I don't know. I like the idea of a collaborative group project that's like not too difficult.
Mm-hmm. Come with me.
Mm-hmm.
And she leads you through the house and its myriad labyrinth that is mostly done in whites and occasional gold affect and accents. But when she opens one door, it is an absolute fucking void in comparison. It was very expensive, but I had the entire room done in Vanta black.
No way. That whole thing was crazy. Did you follow the whole drama with that?
I know who I'm talking to.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't done anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Make this your project.
Okay. Okay. Yes. 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 Yes.
And here's the thing, out of character, because of the rather absorbent quality of Vanta Black, you can't actually tell the dimensions of the room. You don't know if it's a tiny little cupboard or if it goes on forever, like some sort of bleak TARDIS.
I'm obsessed with this idea.
I thought you would be.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
So, I'll have you think on that. Think on your guest list.
Mm-hmm.
And once you've decided on that, we'll figure out some of the more logistic considerations.
Great. Oh yeah, parking might be we'll figure that out.
Well, most people know to self-valet.
Great.
Now, one thing I would say, if we're going to bring any kind of snacks, She reaches over and touches your nose. Not anybody you know.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Yeah.
She gives you a little wink. And there's a sharp heel turn. As you know, she's heading back to her project.
Poppy's gonna go in the Vanta Black room
Mm-hmm.
and try to figure out the dimensions without turning on any lights or anything. She's just gonna take a second to like, how big is this? How many people can I fit in here? What can I do with this?
It might even dawn on you the idea of that being a game in and of itself.
I know. I was like, what if we we have a jar, or not a jar, but like everybody has to guess how big the room is, and it's like, no, put people in it and have
How
them
many
do something
Artems
weird.
is this room?
How many Artems long is this room? Discuss. 7 minutes in the void is a great idea. Yes. Meet me in the void for an ass kicking.
Or something else to your ass.
Ass kicking or ass kissing?
First one, then the other. Kiss them boo-boos.
Oh, that's cute.
Now, on your way out eventually, because we can figure out all the specifics of your void afterwards.
Right.
You're planning to go and meet her.
Mhm.
Well, are there any very particular things, any errands, any other further text you want to do before you meet up with her?
Poppy might want to feed a little bit on the way just so that she's not famished and like unthinking in a way. Not that she would be unthinking, but it does cloud one's mind when you're a little hungry. So she may
You
stop
don't
at
say.
like, yeah. So she may stop at Chuck's or another dive bar and just like quickly have a snack if she can.
Okay. Oh, that's fun for me. I'm going to have you do 2 rolls.
Okay.
I'm going to have you roll, because you have to park down there.
Yeah. See, parking. There should be a parking roll.
Mm-hmm.
These tiny little towns.
So it's going to be perception alertness at an 8.
All right. One success and 1-1.
So that erased your singular success, or
Oh yes, that would erase my singular success. So nothing.
you failed,
The
but you
void?
don't botch.
Yeah, could be worse.
Okay. Then don't worry about it. You're going to do another roll
Okay.
as you head into Chuck's bar to get a little bit of a top up.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, how would you like to effectuate this? What's your means and mode?
I will look for somebody who is like just going to the bathroom from their group of friends or something. And if I can, if it's somebody that's like already a little intoxicated or like has clearly had a drink, so that if they come back and they're a little wobbly, then it's not odd.
Okay. So what's your argument for what you'd like to roll?
I would like to roll stealth, like if I can be just like in the shadows, like, or even like behind the bathroom door as they go in and just that would be great.
Okay. Let's go with we'll just go with stealth and dexterity, and you can add your celerity to that as well. And because this is It's not necessarily the busiest place right now, but it's not empty. You are going to have to account for other people potentially seeing you, not just your intended victim.
Yes.
So we'll put this at a 7.
Right. Uh-huh. Um, 3 successes.
3 successes. Well, I guess my question is, do you want to take just a little bit of a top up, or do you want to leave them conveniently woozy on the can?
I think just a top up.
Okay. So 1 or 2 instead of the 3.
Yeah. Let's go for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll be better.
Okay. So mark that down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's off to the alley or the alley cat.
Alley Cat, I think is what it was called. I was looking it up the other day. It's like a cocktail. Yeah, it's cute. It looks good. It looks like they have good cocktails. If you're ever in Savannah, it's a good spot, I'm sure.
I'm trying to remember if we used that location before or not.
I don't know if we have.
Well, this will be fun because I haven't worked with this location before, so.
Oh, it was suggested to Cora by someone.
The Alley Cat Lounge.
Alley Cat. Yeah, I don't know.
Is this not the place you went to before with a bit of a sticky floor? No. Okay, this is something else.
I think this is a different one.
This is a little bit more of a dimly lit wine bar with a little
Yes.
bit more top shelf arrangements. And did you call ahead, or are you just hoping to get in and get a seat?
I don't think she called ahead.
Okay. So you're hoping to sort of use a bit of wiles at the door?
If I can.
Okay. I'll just have you roll, so I'm not going to have you do it again. So what is your way of trying to charm the hostess or the host?
I mean, probably just trying to be charming, maybe complimenting their outfit, their hair, being very, I don't know, a little flirtatious even, just to like a small amount.
Mm-hmm. I think on that I am going to have you roll.
Okay.
Let's go with, let's say, charisma or appearance, depending which one you're trying to push forward.
I think charisma.
Okay. So this is more the getting the eye contact, talk, hi.
Yeah. Are you from around here? Right. Yeah.
So let's go with that. And I guess we'll go with
Performance?
expression.
Expression. Expression. I feel like I haven't rolled an expression before.
I
Have I? I might have.
I think you did.
Okay.
Let's
What
do
is
that
the
at
5? Okay. That is okay. That one cancels. That's 3 successes once more, and one of them's a 10, which means that's a 1. Okay, so 3 successes.
I would say you're able to get whatever table you want.
hmm
So you tell me what she's looking for.
Back corner booth situation, like curvy booth,
Ooh,
a booth with curves.
a little bit of a banquet situation.
Oui, oui.
And I'm assuming once you get there, you sit right smack dab in the middle so that you are like holding court of one as you survey the room.
Indeed.
And you can see when your mousy self-conscious date arrives, but her geeky awkwardness alights when she sees you, and there's a little bit more of a quick step to her to get into the booth.
Hello.
Hi, and she'll peck you on the cheek real quick. This is
Cutesy, right?
I don't think I can afford this place.
Oh, well, tonight's on me.
Good,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I wouldn't do that to you.
And there's a moment where she's trying to think if she is about to say something saucy, but she can't quite muscle the nerve to say it. And she kind of just gets a little this sort of bashfulness to her.
That wasn't supposed to be a dig. I was a college student once, too.
No, I was going to ask, what would you... never mind.
No. What were you going to say?
What would you do to me?
Oh, it's that kind of night, Heidi. My goodness. In a place like this?
And she's trying to hide behind the wine menu a little bit.
Poppy will grab her leg from under the table and get behind the menu with her and say, "We can talk about that as much as we want later."
You've seen with Tabby how like red the tips of the ears can go. Now imagine if that's the entirety of some pigtailed waifish date that you have plucked out of art school.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, she's here for it.
Excellent. Also, I have a gift for you.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. But again, that's for later. If you're good.
The flush does not abate at that. And I'm assuming you start to order drinks.
Mm-hmm. I ask her a little bit about what she wants for the gallery, if that is to happen. I know I think I sent a follow-up email to them like 2 days ago, so I'm not expecting anything yet.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I enjoy all the other stuff, when we get back, I desperately need your help.
Okay. With?
I need to find which pieces to use, and
Sure.
I'm really struggling for, like, I think I need something new, and I don't know what.
Are you asking me to pose for you?
I wasn't thinking about it, but now what?
No worries. Yes, we can absolutely talk curation when we get back. To your place after. Not to invite myself, but please.
Hey, this is gonna sound a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
We always go to my place.
Yes.
I like having you there, but
Mm-hmm. Heidi, I'm a little embarrassed. My living situation's a bit odd right now. So, I currently live with I have this very odd aunt and an even stranger uncle. Funnily enough, one's from my mom's side of the family, one's from my dad's side of the family, and they live together. Not like romantically. It's a little odd. But
I feel like that's a search tag on the hub.
I'm sure it is. I am sure it is. But it is one of those things where I am still under my family's roof, and it feels a little God, sorry, I'm so embarrassed. She really plays it up. She kind of hides behind her hand.
I'm not going to have you roll anymore because I feel like we really should be making you, but hmm. Wait, so but you're not from here, right?
No, I'm from Connecticut.
So how did
How did they get down here?
yeah, how did mom's side and dad's side get here and why are they okay, that's bullshit, right?
What?
A aunt and uncle from different sides of the family and they're living together and then you're living this is a collection of AO3 tags.
It's truly an AO3 tag, and my family jokes about it being a reality TV show all the time. Like, it's very odd. But yeah, and they both like have their own gigs, they have their own jobs. So I'm just there.
So why Savannah?
So my uncle Nick came down he was in a band, and they were trying to make it big, but they were up in Connecticut and doing a lot of bluegrass stuff. And that didn't work out. And so they did this tour, came on down south, pretty far down south, obviously. And he liked it so much that he stayed. And then my Aunt Clara, who is still up in Connecticut, came down to visit a friend of hers who was going through chemotherapy down here. And she stayed with her until, unfortunately, I can hear Smuggles laughing in the other room.
I'm going to stop you there because the amount of details being added to this bullshit.
Listen, you have to be
Strange credulity.
detailed. You
So
have to
we're
be
going
detailed.
to go with manipulation and subterfuge.
Oh,
I have to go with an 8 because I feel like she may be naive, but she's not dumb.
can I use a willpower?
You probably should. You should ask Sam how that works though. But
Yeah, Sam, can you tell me how that works? Smuggles?
So you spend one of your temporary willpower, and you gain one success that can't be negated by a 1.
Thank you so much.
By the way, for the chat, we've started calling not having to use your willpower poppy privilege. So
Hey,
spread
but I'm
that
having to use it
hashtag
now.
around.
I feel like that needs to be some sort of shirt or merch of some kind now.
Oh, I get to re-roll twice. Maybe I didn't need willpower.
You've already spent
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I did. But so that's in that case, that's 6 successes.
On a DC 8?
Oh, 8. That is 4 successes.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Still
She
good.
gets to roll too.
Fuck.
She only got 2 successes. So she's okay. That's a lot.
Yeah, no, it's actually ridiculous, which is the reason I haven't had you come over, because it's a lot to handle.
Yeah. Huh.
Is your family more normal than that?
Poppy, I'm in art school. Nobody's family's normal.
Right?
I don't really know some very key things about you.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. You could ask me if you want. Or do you like me being mysterious?
The mystery's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Mystery's sexy. And even as she says it, like the tinge of red creeps back in. Like the word itself is almost like psychologically taboo.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting considering her form of art. There's some, I don't know, internalized self-repression, I guess, going on in there. Okay, let's start with something dumb. When's
All
your
right.
birthday?
My birthday is on August 25th.
Why didn't you say something?
I don't know. I'm weird about birthdays. I grew up not really having a lot of friends, so birthdays never were a thing. It was more of like a family thing.
And there's a moment where she kind of like zeroes it, like a weird aunt uncle thing. Like, what do we?
No, like the most amount of friends that I had like at one time ever was like 3. So we would like hang out and smoke weed in the park, and then they would put like a candle in a muffin and hand it to me. Like it was never a thing, like a huge celebration. So it just kind of was a passage of time. But my mom used to make me a cake like every year, which was nice.
What kind of cake?
Funfetti.
Now, out of character, I don't know what that actually is
It's
because
just
I'm
white.
old.
No, yeah, I guess it was a later thing. It's like just a white or a yellow cake that has sprinkles in it, so it looks like confetti inside it.
Oh, okay.
It's cute.
I feel like Heidi would know exactly what that is, along with fairy bread.
Yes. Oh, love fairy bread.
Huh. I'm not gonna have you roll this, but you kind of see that she's sort of like writing something down in her head.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to do something?
I don't know. Maybe. Can I get back to you on that?
Yeah.
Cool. When's your birthday?
October.
October. Okay.
I may not look like it, but I'm a spooky girl.
Your art's a little spooky.
And there's a moment again of hesitation, like she wants to say something, but she doesn't have the gumption behind it. Food?
Huh?
Food?
Oh, I already ate. I was just gonna get a cocktail. But you can grab some food. Their burgers look good.
And you can kind of see the hungry student, like already said, she's paying. I'm here. I'm hungry as fuck.
Eat something good.
And you, Poppy, need to fatten up a future meal. So I'm assuming we're going to fade out on that just for now.
Sounds good.
Okay. And I think now is a good time for us to go on break. See you in a few, folks. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of Savannah by Night here on the Midnight Dispatch, where I'm sure no ludicrous lies will ever come back to haunt any of our fledgling vampires, ever. Never gonna happen. Can't. Won't possibly. On to the next set of consequences for this evening. Elli, you have not been to the classroom before, have you?
No, storyteller, I have not.
You have been told about it, of course, that it is the boxing gym owned by Bruja Havel. You know that Tabby and the other fledglings have been here before. You know that, at least based on Tabby's expression of it, it was fine. Nobody got seriously maimed. No one was cruel. Merely taught to be more than what they were when they first walked in. You know to park in the back. Not quite an alleyway, but almost. Not long after you arrive, the man who has veered off camera just now, Artem and Chris pull up rather eerily soon after you pull in. Now the question is, do you park near the van or do you try and put some distance?
Artem's just gonna park close to the door, as close as he can, because he knows he's not going to be here for too long.
Okay. I would say on the car ride, Chris was fairly quiet. Detached, glancing out the window. Maybe it's a bit soon to get into it, but is there anything that you would have wanted to say to her before she gets out?
No, Artem's probably still a little bit shocked himself. While he's older, he's more used to loss, and he's more used to the things that, can just happen when you least expect them to. He's not ready to give a speech about it, you know what I mean? So no, he's just gonna be there, and if she wants to be quiet, then he'll just be quiet too.
Is there anything you're going to want to say to Elli in the moment? Or is there anything, Elli, you're going to want to say to Artem before he heads off?
Thanks for the drop off. Are you coming back to pick up as well?
I don't know, actually. I've got some shit people I gotta meet. I don't know what my schedule looks like. Can you take her back?
Yeah. I'll let you redo the line. Artem.
Oh, can you take her back?
Sure. Back where?
The house.
Where's low?
Sure.
And you do notice, Elli, that Chris's shoulders are a little lower than usual. There's less sass behind the eyes. Even when she's not saying anything, you can always sort of hear a little bit of that fire roiling behind the eyes, but that's rather dimmed at the moment.
Well, how about we go in and punch something that, well, at least for now, let's start with punching inanimate objects, and then we'll see what we go from there.
Did you bring money?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. And she starts to trudge over to the door that is held open by a cinder block but there's a light shining through it.
So I'm not saying that she's cheerful all the time, but it does feel like well, first of all, if she doesn't want to be here, that's also fine. I only did this as a kind of like,
It's not that. We, Kate got attacked last night.
and
She's not dead. She's not going to be here anymore.
where
They
is she
shipped her
gonna
back to
be?
DC.
Okay, so one of the new people here has been attacked, and our solution right now is to ship her back home.
I mean, I wasn't involved in the decision.
No, it feels like none of the smart people are being involved in decisions here.
I'd cool it with that. Remember that she's got some fucking, I don't know, weird bloodline she's a part of. She's not someone that anyone wants to have any responsibility for losing. And
Well, I
frankly,
hope they're at least taking responsibility of finding out who did this.
it's an ongoing thing. We're seems like we're on the cusp of being at war. Everything
Are
is
you
not
going-
always so simple.
Are you going to be in the front lines?
Sounds like it.
I guess I have some other things to work on. Maybe they can help you out.
Appreciate it if you did. Just be careful. Things are sounds like things are getting pretty bad out there.
I'll make sure she gets back where she needs to be.
Feel free to call me if anything happens. I'm not doing anything mission critical tonight.
And how are you doing?
I'm getting through day by day. I don't really want to die, but I suppose I already have.
Yeah, we got sort of that part taken care of.
So what's there to worry about, right?
Oh, lots, just not that specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Such as how do I avoid getting completely embarrassed in there?
Don't worry about getting embarrassed. Worry about getting better.
Oh. And Elli takes the like disfigured hand and places it, if it's okay, on Artem's shoulder and just goes, "You clearly don't know me very well." And gets ready to walk inside.
Artem will turn around to go to the car. Before he gets in, he'll turn and say, Elli,
Yeah.
remember what I said. Don't be a dick. I'll open the door.
And as Artem drives off, the camera will stay with Elli and track as they wander into the classroom. And right away, while you don't have the same heightened senses as some of your other fellow kindred, the air still tastes of sweat to the point where it's almost a solid. The point being that this is not a place where idle posing, preening for the gram happens. This is a place where people learn and demonstrate how to fight with conviction. And, well, we'll worry about why he's giggling later. But Chris is already being instructed how to affix one of the patched and repatched punching bags up on a chain, as Havel is simply giving her direction. She's not there to do things as much as to teach you how to do the things that you're going to be doing.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
I figure I would be aware of this already, but do I have to have a mask on for this setting?
You would have been told that this is not shared company, that this is going to be an expression of all the things that kindred can do. You know that when Tabby was here, she was not wearing a mask.
Oh yeah, and Tabby.
Mm-hmm. So, and that you're going to be effectively using disciplines, the supernatural and unnatural, in terms of using your gifts in some way for combat. So this is not an Elysium situation. And this is
Mhm.
not a masquerade breach situation. You are to be yourself if that is the desire. No one said you couldn't wear a mask if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, no. If Ellie will go in, will have a mask initially, but then as they enter, it'll kind of transform, like almost slipping away
Mhm.
as they do.
Some people change in the gym clothes. You just change into who you are.
Hmm.
And you see Havel in sort of track pants, loose, something that she can move in. And she looks at Chris, who nods. So I guess this is what you really look like then.
That's me, whole package.
All right, let's start with the basics. First session's free. Whatever you break, you buy. Or you patch it. For the lessons, we talk more about costs. The point is, you walk out of here with more understanding than what you walked in with. So, we have to establish what is your understanding.
That's my pop quiz moment?
You ever thrown a punch?
No.
Okay, before we do anything else, throw one at me.
So Ellie makes a fist, but it's a little bit of an awkward situation because they are making a fist, but it's with elongated fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those are very well made for typing and for reaching and for stealing and for all these things, but not
Finesse
much
work.
use for, yeah, but like it's almost trying to like tangle a bunch of wires together,
Mm-hmm.
of like actually learning how to curve them properly. So the fist actually looks a little bigger than probably
Mm-hmm.
it would be meant to, because it's almost like a coiled snake in a
Yeah,
way.
this sort of like if a hand could be a cartoon scribble.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hmm. Okay. Are you actually gonna like go to swing it, or are you just sort of trying to work yourself up to it?
I think like curves the hand, looks at Havel. I assume she's not even like making a way to like try to defend herself. Kind of goes,
Hmm.
okay, and rears
Before
back
you do
for
that,
a punch.
I want you to remember the last time you had a character throw a punch in this game.
I was
someone who was
literally
not
asked to
defending
throw a
themselves.
punch this time.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally asked to throw a punch.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally asked to this time.
Just saying, that's fun for me. Okay, so I'm gonna have you roll. You don't have anything in brawl, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So this will be at a higher difficulty. And in this particular instance, it's not just going to be a 7, it's going to be an 8. Because this is someone who is rather aware of what they're doing. Because they're also rolling against you.
Smart. So that's strength and brawl?
It is Dex and Brawl to hit.
Oh! That's more than one! That's more than one die! Oh, look at that.
I
We're
will lower the
already- we're
DC
already
to
feeling
7
better.
now that I am thinking about it a little bit. Because I've adjusted elsewhere. You're fine.
2 die.
No, it's 3, thank you very much. Because I have to
Mhm.
steal things.
Mm-hmm. So the DC will be 7 instead of 8.
7, great. Well, thank you for joining, everyone. This was a great time. This was fun. We all had a good time. Do you want to know the numbers I rolled?
Sure.
Okay, so we have a 3, and we have a 1, and we have another 1.
So she also rolled a 1, but it only cancels out one of her 10s.
Okay.
As
I'm thinking I actually can't see. 6 successes, great. So I'm
and
thinking
that's without we're
my
rolling
next-
the 10s. That's fun.
My next character is probably gonna be. I could go Tremere. We
Mhm.
have discussed that. But I have also.
Hmm.
Maybe I
Well-
should go back to Bruja.
Well, while you're considering that,
Great.
there is this effortless blur of you are so focused on trying to Jenga together this array of limbs you call a hand into something resembling a fist, that half of your brain capacity is just on that. By the time you go and throw the punch, she has already sidestepped. Like Benny Gesserit from Dune, step blur, hand grasping the wrist. And there is a moment where you feel a heel in the top of your foot, just where the toes meet the rest of the foot. As if a single half pound of pressure more would separate them from the foot. And they don't. You don't go flying. There is no expression of pain. There's no pulling you off balance. There's just simply holding the wrist, and as she's almost sort of using it as a focal point to start stepping around and examining the lack of form. Okay.
As you can tell, I'm a little bit more into intellectual brawling.
Everybody starts somewhere. But once you learn how to use that, that's a lot of surface area to slap a face with. And your kind has a lot of power behind it once you know how to access it. And a good smack across the right face will send it clear off someone's shoulder. So that's where we're going to start. You actually have to connect with something. And we're going to teach you how to use that. Chris, I want you to go over and start working on the speed bag. I'm going to start working on how you, of all people, are going to make a fist with this unique anatomy. So we'll montage this a little bit, where she's going to be giving you some pointers. Good chunk of it is you don't really need to do the cardio. There's no warm-up routine that you have to go through where you run around the gym and you're doing stretching. None of that really applies. There's a little bit in terms of getting you into a disciplined mindset of you're going to have to start working the body, not because it's really going to enhance you, but as much as you're working the mind.
Yeah, I would also even point out that maybe some of those warm-ups things are helpful just to get Ellie in a like
Different headspace.
different headspace, and also just knowing how to, like, I think Ellie is one of those people even before changing that looked really awkward running because it was just not a thing they
Like
ever
made
had
Tom
to
Cruise
do.
look cool when running is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Okay.
never like walked during when they had to run the marathon in gym when they like did the walk.
Okay. I'd say over the course of the first half hour, there is that figuring out the awkwardness of your stance and trying to correct it. Trying to point out these little things, seeing the maybe irregular sense of your walk that translates to how you'd probably run, getting you to run and like, oh, okay, I see the issue. We're going to have you do it this way. They're not going to correct you overnight in that way, but you build, muscle memory doesn't really apply in the same way, but brain memory in terms of that. Teaching yourself how to change your behavior is often more important than throwing the punch. You're getting the impression very quickly that this is not going to be quick and easy, but you're also very quickly getting the impression that they're not impatient, that they're just trying to find where your starting point has to be. And there doesn't seem to be a disappointment of you're useless every time we have to move the goalpost. It's okay, that's where it is. Okay, that's where it is. Oh, okay, we found the floor. Now we teach you how to stand. And there may be some frustration with that as the half hour turns into the hour of knowing how rock bottom this particular aspect of your skill set is. That it's not just underdeveloped, it doesn't exist. This is so far beyond the world that you are used to operating in, the world that you are hyper competent in. That I think it's safe to say adds discomfort and frustration, especially knowing that you're not good at this. You're never going to be great at it.
I think
And you're going to struggle to be good.
I think there's also this fucked up mindset of like Ellie starts making self-deprecating humor because Havel is refusing to. Like Havel is being so mindful of not like making fun of anything, and Ellie like is some of that frustration like ekes out of like stop being so nice about it. Just get it. I was told this is like like Ellie was getting more like partially mad at themselves, partially, and some of that is getting out into like anger at Havel, even though that's not necessarily what Ellie is pissed about.
There's another aspect for you to consider. A hallmark of the clan Nosferatu is something they share in common with Bruja: raw, total strength, of which you have none. You have never expressed that particular attribute that is so part and parcel of the blood that makes you. You are absent of a key feature that was present in your sire. Although, in the end, as strong and as powerful as he could be, and he had demonstrated it quite a bit, and the rascaliness behind it, the impish glee, it didn't save him. Is that his fault? Is that the fault of circumstance? Is it yours? And as the basic walkthrough tutorial transitions to a little bit of the back and forth, not true sparring, but just I know there's a term for these, but they like basically the mitts that they hold up for you to hit.
Yeah.
Chris is being made to hold them, and you're meant to be hitting. It's a struggle. And you tell me how you feel about the fact that someone that you've had some animosity for, that you in particular have gone out of your way to bury that particular hatchet. But with the frustration of the inadequacy, perceived or otherwise, past failures, perceived or otherwise, loss in the past and recent, close or otherwise. What's going through your head?
So I think a bunch of images come up at certain moments. So initially it's Chris holding those mitts together. And then I know we don't need to blink, but I think like in the exertion, like looking away, maybe Elli then sees a blonde woman in a red dress almost smirking at them. And then punching again eventually sees a toothy grinned Nosferatu in a leather jacket, almost mocking. And then sees a black-haired and impeccably dressed Ventru looking at them with her disappointed eyes. And then sees themselves holding the mitts. And then suddenly starts hearing kind of like kind of the echoes that that you would hear in the Warrens, except they turn from laughing to crying to screaming until Ellie probably lets out a scream that's like sounds less like not even a scream that like any Nosferatu or any kindred would make, but a scream that would probably be heard from like a zombie.
Something wild, unhinged, primal.
And still very human.
Because powered by anguish of one flavor or another, I presume.
Yeah.
I'd say during all of this, it's been a drill. She's taught you a basic combo. She's having you do it over and over and over and over again. And while she's pointing out the flaws, telling you to do it again, little micro corrections. Again. Correction. Again. Repetition leads to maybe not perfection, but betterment. But repetition when you're already emotionally askew can have other problems. Especially as you transfer some of it onto what you are hitting, blind to who or what they really are, or in the moment maybe you don't care. So for the second time this evening, I'm going to be having you roll a self-control roll. It's a dice-heavy night tonight. It'll just be self-control. Actually, no, it'll be self-control and courage. You cannot use willpower on this. This will be...
willpower, isn't it?
That's all right. You used your willpower. This will be... What's your total of the two totals?
My total dice I'm rolling is 8.
8. I'm going to have you do this at a 7. Four successes.
Good at self-control and nothing else.
Ironic, considering. The steps become more aggressive. And for a moment, it's unclear if that is from growing self-assuredness, frustration, rage, some heady mixture of all the above. You're not quite sure who's shouting. You can taste pennies in your mouth. And you're not entirely standing as that guttural shouting comes from you. Reverberating through your own teeth, down your spine, and seems to blast out as a emanation on impact as you are punching something. Your face feels hot. For a moment, it's like the heat of embarrassment, but it's slick. And when you look down, your hands are raw, missing several layers of skin. If you were human, they'd be throbbing, like several layers of peeling down almost to sinew. Below you, you expect maybe Chris. Because the mitts are being held at head point. There is a mess on the floor. Ripped matting of where you were previously standing. Oh, this is delicious for me. Thank you, Sam.
I hate everything about this. I need to know if I need to roll a new character for different reasons now.
The floor beneath the matting is cracked, split. And as the haze of that, maybe not a frenzy, but close to it. Maybe you're just on the cusp of it. You've heard people talk about it before, but you've never experienced one yourself. And in the throes of things you have not entirely processed, you're just on the precipice of fully losing yourself to one. Worrying about the harm you could have done. But as you look around, Chris is standing to your left, unscathed, a shocked expression on her face. And as you look again and bring your hands, turn them over, the blood on your face is your own as you have ripped apart your own knuckles from trying to rip through the flooring. I want you to look at your sheets, and if you have the experience, you may add a dot of potence.
Y'all ever been scared of your own character?
Yes.
Okay, for you that's Tuesday, but
Actually,
doesn't-
Wednesday.
how
Poppy
much
doesn't get scared. She
experience-
has Poppy privilege. So, how much experience? We can go over that after session.
Yeah. I mean, I've throughout all of this, I've spent 7 experience points total, so I'm
You'll
pretty
have
sure I
plenty.
have enough.
We'll go over the exact costs after the session. Unbeknownst to you, for the second time tonight, Chris is that rosy, glass-eyed. Not quite sure what she's staring at. But there's this tentative approach as you seem to come back to your own senses. As she crouches down next to you, almost going to reach out, but stops shy. You good? Did you fucking break him? Them? My apologies.
I um sorry.
Did he tell you?
Yeah. Also, I wanted to show off in case it really did get into a big fight between you and me. Just an example of what would happen, you know?
Now, here's the question out of character.
That's
trying
fully
to-
meant to be a joke.
Yeah, okay.
100% meant to lighten the mood. Meant to be a, like, look, see, that's totally what would have happened. I definitely knew what I was capable of.
It's at that point you realize that her hands are claws. The mitts are ripped to absolute shribbons as they had erupted in place. Yeah. You and me both.
That's totally a valid reaction.
Havel walks into view, arms crossed. Well, other than the fact you're fucking paying for that,
Yeah, that's valid.
seems like you figured something out about yourself.
Yeah, seems that way.
Okay. Are you going to be a problem, or is everything good now?
Ellie hears Artem's voice. Don't be a dick.
You did roll very high in your self-control and courage roll. I'm just going to tell you that now.
This was a learning experience, but I don't anticipate it being a problem.
Good, because I'm going to have you do that again without whatever that was.
Oh, good. Great.
Is it okay if we fade out from there?
Yes.
Now, just to double check. Sam, are we good?
Yes.
Okay. Before I get back to Artem, I am going to get back to Poppy. I think we need a little bit of a lighter scene after that.
My scene not going to be light, Graham.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Artem's leaping through a field of flowers.
La la, I'm gonna be the prettiest girl at the party.
No, we have canonically established that Artem is a Disney princess.
This is
That's
true.
true.
Art incoming, I hope.
Yes.
Artem incoming. Never mind. Poppy. I believe the intent was to head back to the dorms, since your
Yes.
living situation is a Brazzers logo away
Weird.
from a search.
It's just weird.
I said what I said.
Well, yeah.
So, you have brought a gift box or a gift bag? Have you told her what
A
you're bringing her?
box. No. But it's a nice box.
Uh-huh. And what about the gift?
Well, it's a little more fancy when a gift is in a box than a bag, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sound off in the chat. No, I in a nice, like, gift box. And she'll, once they're inside, she'll be like, "Would you like your gift?"
I feel like I'm being tricked because I don't know which is which now.
Which is what?
She looks to you, the box, the box, back and forth.
Oh, that's very sweet of you, actually. That's really cute. Poppy will hand the box over to her, and say, "I want you to put this on."
Oh, okay.
Pretty please.
And you notice that amidst all of this, the room is littered with a myriad of works as she's been simultaneously getting ready for the proper fall semester, while also desperately flailing at preparing appropriate pieces for the upcoming gallery show that you've been helping her set up. And she's at first looking for some place to put this down, where to sit or have you sit, or where she's going to actually try this on. And there's a mirror that she doesn't really have space to really just change, just like almost like leave the dorm room to go to maybe not like a fully communal bathroom, but a shared one. It's like for like a cluster of 4 or 5 dorm rooms kind of thing.
Cool.
So she's going to open the box first to see what's in there.
You mentioned when I sent you the picture of me at the opera that you didn't have like a fancy dress or occasion for it, and I saw this and I thought of you. It's a good color for your skin. Periwinkle looks very good.
And what kind of dress did you give her?
It's kind of simple. It's not. It's not trying to be anything she's not. But it's like a spaghetti strap, kind of a sweetheart neckline periwinkle dress that's gathered at the waist just a little bit. It's nothing that's like too form-fitting. It's something that like a Grecian nymph would wear. Like it's flowy and cute.
Considering her chosen sort of artistic inspiration is Bruce Timm and how he draws figures, is it that sort of Art Deco Greek god styling?
Yeah, I think so.
So we will have her maybe start to look at like just like a hand roaming over the fabric a little bit, and then finally taking out of the box. And there's a very sort of dozy smile, trying to figure out the words. And that blush has kind of returned, but it's a lot softer, a little warmer, more visibly quite touched. Yeah. And there's a little bit of a very small but visible wobble to the lips. Like, no one's ever given me something like this before.
You deserve it.
Okay, I don't know how to put this on.
Oh, I'll help you.
Okay, so here's the thing. You gotta help me with 2 things.
Okay.
That, and she's directing your eyes to the mess of art pieces that are just taking up every surface.
Business before pleasure, then.
Yeah. I need a new piece. I need to figure something out.
Great. Well, show me what you have now that you are thinking about, and then we can fit in a missing piece.
She kind of stands with the dress, looking at the mirror, like the one sort of luxury maybe that kind of stands out is a maybe not full floor length sort of mirror, but looks like something that's built into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea and you can't laugh.
Okay.
Help me with the dress first.
I'm interested.
Okay. So we'll gloss over this a little bit. There's some, I'm assuming, some intimacy along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And what is convenient for this is that due to the previously established intimacy, it's easier to arrange when and where this snack is going to be, presuming
Yes.
that's still part of the agenda.
Yes.
So you need her to be slightly functional. How many are you taking?
I think. Let me quickly look at where I'm at. Like 1 or 2.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 is not going to make her. Because I want to be able to
3
talk
would be
with her
bad.
about her gallery. Okay.
2, she's going to be a little just happy dozy though. You may want to leave it at 1 if you want a full
Let's do 1,
conversation.
yeah, so that we can have a
Okay.
business convo. Yeah.
Maybe take 1 later after.
Yeah, on the way out.
Mm-hmm. I'm not even gonna have you roll for that because that's just sort of the expectation of what's happening tonight.
Mm-hmm.
As you're going to help her with the dress somewhere along this delirious interlude, she's wearing nothing but the dress, with it open on the back, as if an invitation. But the way she's angled herself is towards the mirror and looking over her own shoulder, pulling the pigtails that have been sort of let out, and that sort of, I guess, sort of leaves them in like wavy tresses as a result. Can you snap a picture? I have an idea.
Mm-hmm. And Poppy will do her best to take the best looking pictures ever.
You kind of get an idea of the missing piece is a self-portrait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Showing
They need you.
the idea being, well, as we discussed earlier, a certain amount of self-repression.
Mm-hmm.
And, without her glasses on, her hair very different. It isn't necessarily her that's going to be the final product. And that simplified line design that you see in her work, the graceful edging. But I know what I said.
There it is.
But it's at least inspired by her,
Yeah.
which is a step.
I think so.
A step you helped her in. Is there anything else you'd like to add to this scene before we sort of filter out of it?
Nothing for the viewers at home.
But I take it you want to get a little...
One more nibble on the way out. Dessert.
I feel like that's going to be a longer interlude.
Oui.
It's okay if I fade out?
It is.
Okay. For our final scene of the evening. Nothing quite like poppy privilege. So, you good? Artem, the text sent to you by Teague said for you to meet him by the fountain at the heart of Forsyth Park. Parking on a side street just west of the park proper, you pass by what appears to be an upscale animal hospital based out of what was once primarily a Greek revival home. Crisscrossing pathways that weave through the park eventually yield to a stone slab walkway, framed on either side by a row of oak trees draped with Spanish moss, the focal point of which is finally the ornate central fountain, a graceful Greek-styled figurine atop a plinth, spouts ringing the entirety. Cherubs with trumpets and swans adding arcing jets of water that all swirl around the large circular pool. A row of small white and purple flowers line the edge, rings of brick framing it all amid classic wrought iron street lamps and a matching unobtrusive fence to encircle it all. Leaning against said fence is the familiar figure of Teague, quietly strumming his acoustic guitar. The lack of an open case on the ground and the idle manner of his playing suggest he's simply killing time rather than busking.
Yeah, Artem will, he'll walk up, probably won't interrupt, just kind of take a seat by where Teague is strumming and kind of nod along with the music.
He plays along for a little bit, but it's more... going back, he was definitely killing time, but seeing that you were just enjoying the peacefulness of it for a moment, he does play into that, but not for very long.
Sure.
Eventually, he does sort of naturally end the riff, and as he starts to put the guitar back in the case, he does sort of use a head toss to kind of lure you over.
Mm-hmm. This place is nice, man.
I guess you haven't had time to really go and see all the places in town, huh?
Yeah, I've been what's the word? Not sequestered, but focused, maybe.
Yeah. Well, usually for us, we tend to wander the outskirts. But the rare oddity of this old town is one of the few garden cities.
Yeah.
Fair amount of green space. Few bigger than this one.
Makes sense that we have so much of a presence here, considering that.
Well, anything you want to know before we get to the main event?
Anything I definitely shouldn't say?
That is a good question. Well, something you might notice about him is they're all variations on a theme. That musical blondes. But they're all different eras and styles. And you'd think that would be discordant. But something about it or them somehow brings it into harmony. Of course, there's one or two theories on that.
I'm gonna say, is that part of their thing?
Well, that's one of the theories. He does kind of lean in a little closer, so it's a little more conspiratorial, but the burbling of the fountain behind you and the very, very distant sound of, it's hard to tell if music, but something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
and the wind going through the trees. It does feel, at least for a moment, private conversation. There's the nasty little rumor of they may have been blood bonded to each other. Or to their maker.
I didn't realize it went 2 ways. That's
This is where it gets into the weirder rumor of, you know what a Valder is? Sabbat do a thing where they do like a communal bond. It's a weird little ritual they do.
what the hell?
Yeah, it's fucking weird. But seems to work for them. Some people think that's what they do. Yeah, I could see the first theory having some credit to it, but this one seems a little too far-fetched for me.
Do you know how that's like different from if they were all just bonded to each other?
Different severity, for one thing.
I see.
The Valdery tends to sort of spread it out and smooth it out. So it's more of a way of keeping the peace, ensuring a certain amount of loyalty.
Okay.
Bond is a little more intimate, maybe a little more powerful.
So
In fact,
it's
a lot
not.
so.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm gonna be your best friend. It's like we're all gonna be cool.
Depends who you ask. I've never done it, so no real frame of reference.
Yeah. My satyr told me to keep away from all that shit.
The bond, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can fuck you up in ways you don't realize.
That's what she said.
Who'd have thunk? All us old folks say the same thing.
Is that what wisdom is?
You have to ask someone wiser than me. Well, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. Teague leads you on a little walk into the park. Now that he's no longer strumming and you're further away from the burbling water of the fountain, you can hear a murmur of dulcet melody carrying through the air. Soon enough, the source makes itself apparent as a trio of blonde women occupy the intimate stage of a minuscule pantomime of an amphitheater, the Forsyth Park Band Shell. A small but no less engaged crowd having gathered for the performance. The signage showing they're not the only act for the venue tonight. The song currently being played is a cover of Down by the Water by the Decemberists. A melancholy nostalgia for the one that got away and the reckless follies of youth in a pretty little seaport town.
Guess the best thing to do at this point is find a place in the crowd and just enjoy the show.
It doesn't go for too much longer, but I will have you roll perception awareness. And so we're just going to do this at a 6.
this something I'm trying to resist or just notice?
Just something to notice.
Okay. That is 1. Wait,
1.
2.
2. The nostalgia itself permeates, and you, through no conscious thought of your own, start thinking of your own mistakes and triumph back home, lost or failed relationships, and those that you're separated from. And for a moment, a brief moment, you feel the touch of your cheek against the corrugated metal of the shipping container as a gentle tap comes through the wall. A little check-in before each is loaded onto a ship. And there was a moment when you heard the last tap.
There was small amount of time, maybe just a day. After that happened, went to sleep, woke up, tapped again. Didn't hear a tap back. And for a little while, it was like, all right, she's just being an asshole. That is not what ended up being the case.
At first, there's the rationalization of she's ignoring me. We're on different parts of the ship. But rationalization eventually gives way to fears, anxieties. And as time wore on and you got hungrier, angrier, scared, desperate, you had your own moment, like Elli did this evening. As when your shipping container was opened up in Savannah, your own hands had ripped rivulets into the steel. And perhaps those claw marks were never in the metal, but your own heart.
Little column A, little column B.
But as you come out of this unpleasant reverie, the set has ended. They're stepping off the stage. Teague is politely waving them down. And as the next set begins to take place on the stage, a decidedly less emotional endeavor. 3 blonde women show up in your immediate orbit finally. I will start with a small description of each and then we'll get into the interactions. One is a little bit more of the classic 80s rock-centric. While not excessively so, her hair is voluminous and she adorns herself with a few more leather accents. The other, hair on the comparatively shorter and spunkier side. She looks like if a more twiggy Marilyn Monroe was trying to be an early glam punk in a baseball-style t-shirt. Short shorts and a wide belt hanging haphazardly off one hip. The third, the more witchy of the 3, in that she has long, curly hair, and her manner of dress and shawl are all ethereal and gauzy. She is noticeably more reticent and standoffish. Half step back compared to the other two. Hi there, ladies. Thank you for making the time. This here is Artem. He's, well, I suppose you know his benefactor, Alden. Artem. This here be the Cantrails. Lita. Dia. And because my brain is turning off, Stefania.
Nice to meet you.
Dia gives you almost a similar, how do I put this, elementally dissatisfied look that you might get out of Chris. Is it Chris? Or is it Natalia?
Little column A, little column B.
Really making time for this. Lita. He's almost kin. Least we can do is make a bit of time. Want to take a walk?
Please.
The 5 of you head a little further into the park where you're still the central oak-lined walkway. But they veer off to the right, which would be the west side of the park, a large open expanse of greenery. Or at least it would be, except for that it's dark. But there are few, if any, people, and you're a group. You can, for the most part, talk privately.
Yeah, I guess Artem, once we're in a place where it's fairly private, he'll say, I wanted to meet the 3 of you. A friend of mine named Kate, she was mesmerized by one of your shows a few days ago. And I'm going to roll a self-control check to see if there's any change when he does mention Kate. That did just happen.
You can decide on the DC for that then.
I'm just go with a 6.
Okay. Hey, this is a self-imposed self-control roll. That's ultimate self-control.
I got a 1 success. So
1 success.
We will say if someone was really paying attention, they may have noticed something, but a casual observer would not.
I'd say there's this spill of hair to one side as Stefania tilts her head. Reticent does not mean unobservant.
Mm-hmm. I asked Teague a little more, and he mentioned that we were closer in the social circle than I had thought, so I don't know. I just wanted to ask you a few things.
Dia does chime in. How was the old Barker?
He is old and crusty.
Okay. I don't hate this one.
Can you tell me, I don't know, a little bit about yourselves? Were you how long you've been on the road? where you started, I guess.
That's when Lita chimes in. Well, I've been in it the longest. I'm not really sure where things picked up. On the road, it all starts to blur together. Sure, T can tell you that's one town, one stage, and they all start to look the same. A few decades now, though. Each one came later.
Just kind of going through the decades, building up a band.
That's when Stefania will chime in with, harmony doesn't happen overnight. And that's when there's a bit of a almost sibling-like side-eye between Stefania and Daya. Like you can almost hear her flipping the other one off.
This might be a bit of a sore subject. Can you tell me a little about the woman who brought you all together? I understand I'm driving her car.
That's when Daya's eyes flash between anger and saucer plates. And it kind of never leaves the two on some roller coaster between Lita leans back slightly. He gave you her car.
Just gonna shrug.
He either really likes you or he wants to see you fail.
Well, I hope he likes me.
Last I heard, the only time he ever took it out was to get it detailed. And then to roll it back up into that old barn.
Yeah. I've been taking care of it best I can.
That's when Di will chime in. How about you give me the keys and I can go make sure that's true?
He'll pull out the keys
Mm-hmm.
and kind of look at her. I can show you when we're done talking if you'd like.
Stefania will look between you and Daya. And you do start to see a little bit of the hurt, angry pride in Daya, the same way that you would see in Chris. And she's holding out an expectant hand. I'll go with her and make sure she doesn't do anything.
Oh, I don't. Wait, yes, I do.
Luck. And in the same breath and motion, she's about to walk away. She goes, wait, where the fuck did you park?
And he'll give an approximate directions.
She kind of storms off a bit, but Stefania just a little sheepish smile and starts to follow. Teague takes a moment to observe, and I'll be back where you found me.
Sorry, which one's left?
Lita.
Lita. Okay. Well, Artem will look at Lita and will say, he is going to kick my ass if she does anything to that car.
Well, let's see how the conversation goes. I think you want to ask something a little more pointed than just what you've been getting at. And she does start to walk with you.
Yeah. Truth be told, the reason I wanted to meet you is because I was told that you were looking for your sire. My understanding, and this is, I wasn't lied to. I wasn't I was just assuming, I guess. I figured she was gone. I didn't realize there was more to the story.
There's always more to the story when you're never sure if it actually ended. What were the alleged final moments? Who saw what? Was there ever a body?
Artem will nod. I did have a thought. It seems...
Oh, and that big pretty head of yours, I hope there's at least more than one.
Fewer than you'd hope. More than you'd think. I don't know. I thought maybe... I mean, is it possible that she was hiding? You all seem pretty happy with Alden. Is there maybe... This isn't like a... Maybe
You think she's hiding
she
from him?
escaped. Right, yeah. Maybe.
When you were out in the crowd, did you feel something?
Yeah.
That's what we do. When she would sing, we'd know. For all intents and purposes, that was like going to our second house. He's an old grouch, but I'm sure you've noticed there's at least a bit of a gooey center somewhere.
Yeah.
I called him a sea urchin once.
My wife and I have a joke about that. We'll say Artem doesn't know much about sea urchins, so he's just like picturing one in his head, like, that's good to hear because that's what I thought. But, world of monsters, you never know.
But what's your real question?
That being the case, he's a powerful dude, It seems like if she could find a way to get word to him, he'd be able to find her.
That's when she will loop her arm around yours. She's not so much leading the walk as much as letting you mutually meander in a direction.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like her life is duets. Finding harmony sort of seems to just be how she operates.
Mm-hmm. So I know you're looking, but do you have a reason to think that there's anything to find?
I do. You might think we're a little weird. Most people do. But we all have dreams about her. And I don't mean we miss her so much that we dream. There's specifics, like she's calling out. And it's not some shared delusion. You can just know. Because when we've been apart, it's how we used to keep in touch. Cell phones weren't always a thing. She'd call out, or we'd call to her. That's what it feels like. You get glimpses, but they're all different. We can't harmonize on it. We feel it. We can't put a finger on it. So we tour around, play some of the bars here, hoping that I don't know, we'll ping off of one another. Kind of go back up and down this part of the coast. It's a big place. Could have been swept out.
It's better than I was hoping for.
What were you expecting?
I don't know. Something that seems a lot less actionable. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not a Ventru.
There is a bit of a full-throated laugh at the surprise of that.
in case it's not clear, I want to help if I can.
No, I got a sense of that. Then I have a question for you.
Sure.
Why? What's she to you? It's not that I distrust, I
mean, I don't know her. She's not really anything to me, but it's really two things. Came here. I wasn't expecting to. I had no plan. I had no resources. I was in a lot of trouble. And Alden helped me out. I like the old man. Do something to put a smile on his big angry face. Best case. Worst case. At least maybe help him move on, you know? And I know what it's like to not be certain about where your sire is. It's rare, I think, for people to have a good relationship with the one who made them, but I do. And I had to leave because our land was attacked, and me and Natalia, my sort of like nods back at where the sisters had disappeared to, my broodmate, blood, whatever, her other child.
co-equal burden.
Yeah. We couldn't, we were a liability she couldn't afford, so we had to go. She's alone in a big forest full of a lot of dangerous shit.
And yet, part of you wants to be there. But I am getting the sense that a part of you wants to be here.
This place has been a very nice surprise. I'd still go home tomorrow if someone told me I could, but
for how long?
it's a good question.
I see the sincerity. I don't quite know how you can help, other than looking. Keep trying. We even played on a fucking riverboat now and again, trying to stir up something, anything.
Yeah. I'm new, so I'm not super experienced or super powerful, but if you're going somewhere more dangerous, I may be able to provide some support.
Mm.
I'm not useless with these. He sort of gives the.
Small little laugh.
Mm-hmm.
You know the trick about you folk? When you lose it and lose yourself, you bring a piece of the beast back with you. Usually fades over time. Alden's should have faded. Should have faded by now. I think he's holding on to it. His way of holding on to her. That if he lets go, that's it. Maybe he doesn't fully believe she's gone. Maybe he doesn't want to. But in his own way, he's hurting himself every day. So if you care about him, it's not just doing us a kindness, it'd be doing him one.
Yeah.
But we'll talk. And as you start to continue to walk across this dark but verdant space, is there anything you'd like to add before we fade out for the evening?
No, I think Artem is just going to, take his time, enjoy the park. Think about what's coming.
Fair. I think on that very somber note, we can say goodbye for the evening. Thanks for joining us, folks. See you soon.